Hello and welcome to BuckPole. I'm David, and for those of you that have been here, you know we're all about showing you how to do it yourself in the outdoors so you can save money and enjoy time with your family and friends. And I'm sorry if the outside video quality sucks, but the wind is kind of unavoidable. But it's 2020, the year, sadly, and lumber is next to impossible to come by. So I had to start getting creative because I normally build deer blinds before deer season for some of the local guys to enjoy and be able to spend time with their family and friends hunting with. Well, I'm pretty sure it's to the point now where a board costs you an arm, a leg, and a left nut while you're at it. Yeah, I said that. It's like $24 for one 10-foot long 4x4. And I'm sorry, I can't justify dropping $100 on just the 4x4s to hold my deer stand in the air. So I had to get creative. But give me a second to get this camera flipped around, and I'm going to take you around this blind and show you what I ended up doing. So this is the inside, and before I get going too far, I just wanted to take a second to let you guys know, if you appreciate videos like this, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button and the subscribe button. For some reason it makes YouTube all warm and fuzzy and makes it so that I can get more content like this out to all of you guys. So thanks for watching, and without further ado, let me take you outside and show you around the whole blind and explain a bunch of the stuff that I use when I build these to help you enjoy more time in the outdoors with your family and friends. So, first things first. I ended up starting out with this Shou Sugi Ban burn, or whatever they call it, and then I sanded these down. And if you watch the time lapse, you can kind of see how that went about. But everybody on all these fancy do-it-yourself TV shows is doing it, and it seems to be working. So I started out with a platform like this. This is about what my normal platform is. I didn't have much in the way of legs, but I wanted to get them up off the ground a little bit, so I put 2-foot legs under each of them. Now, hopefully I get some video editing time soon, and I can show you how I actually build those, because I've got about 10 hours worth of video footage to cut through to show you. Now, that's the front. Let me take you around here. And if you can kind of see here, get in there at a bit of an angle, it's all board and batten design. So I went through, I did that, built some steps for it, and got a little slide lock for getting in and out of it. Well, after I got the basics done, I built the front wall. I basically used 2x4 studs down along the bottom, 2x4 stud up along the side, and then one across the top. And then where the windows go in place, if you can kind of see up there, at the height of the windows, I ran pieces from side to side. Now, I made these 15 inches high. I will tell you that is one of the biggest mistakes I made. I wish I would have changed the window size a little bit, because while these are nice, they are not fun to build. I actually sandwiched a couple pieces, if you can see it there, of 1x6 together. Cut them to width. Actually, they were about 1x2, 2.5. But that's how I ended up doing that. And then I cut a groove in it. And I used the groove to be able to get out that front window there. I used the groove to be able to sandwich the glass between. So we went ahead and did that. And then I have a Craig jig. So in between the back wall, which was built in similar fashion to the front wall, there's Craig hole screws on the back side of this right here, and they go in at an angle crossways like that, and that pulls this dealer nice and tight. And the Craig jig screws do a good job. They really pull stuff together tight. But then after I got that done, I went around, did my boards, cut my battens to about 1 3/4 inches, and then I went around and put a piece of plywood on the top. One thing I could throw out there, I put some pieces underneath where the couple screws come through. A, so you don't smack your head on that. And B, because that little trick right there will help pull the roof nice and tight and allow you to be able to do more with it. After that, in order to get some of the board and battens to work, I actually had to screw a couple pieces of 1x6 here and down here because that allows me to actually screw from the other side. As you can see, I had one that I accidentally used the wrong length screw and it popped through there a little bit. From there, I went in and I did all the framing for the windows and then cleaned up this edge here, gave it a solid backstop for it. And after that, the big fun part, I actually was able to get a little shelf in up here. You can see some pocket hole screws there. I use the Craig jig quite a bit. So I built that in, got the bag here with the hardware to attach the steps and then the door. I try not to do that until after it's out in the field, just because that allows whoever has it to be able to put it together without shifting and stuff. Another thing too, on the windows, I marked the windows. You'll be able to see that one as well. That'll help if I ever have to replace a piece of plexi, or a piece of plexi ever needs to be replaced. You'll be able to match them up nice and easy. But finish up the rest of that shelf there. And then on the back side, I can show you kind of how I did the door here. Now, like I said, I don't have the latch in it yet because of the way it is. But it's all the board and batten still. I used 2x4s across the centers. And then for lateral support, I used some of the 1x6 material, and I ripped it in half to be able to do that there. The roof is an old piece of steel, just like you would normally get on an old barn. And then to help too with anything that I don't want getting in here, we went ahead and I filled the top with foam. As you can see, I missed a tiny little spot up there. So I'll have to get that filled in before the person comes to pick it up. And then filled the front with foam as well. If you saw on the outside of it, it'll actually show a little bit of foam from the outside, just because of the way that it is. And my smart aleck daughter just locked me into the blind. So, oh yeah, hi, thanks. Like I said, don't screw the steps in until after I'm out in the field and stuff. Makes it a little bit easier to work with. But ultimately, in the end, this blind, materials wise, because I was able to get these 1x6s off of pallets, I personally myself have roughly, I want to say, about $200, $250 into it. And I would say it's a pretty nice looking blind for that kind of price. Some other things to mention on the outside. The burn works well for UV protection and stuff. Sorry, the kids are yelling in the background. But it definitely works well for UV protection. I did do 2 coats of deck sealer to kind of waterproof it. And then I tried making sure everything's matched up as best as possible. But the kids are starting to holler, so I'm going to have to call it quits. But check out the other videos I have linked here at the end, and it'll show you some of the processes I use. And if you want to see a quick time lapse of it, I'll try to keep that to about 6 to 8 minutes. Compact about 4 or 5 days worth of work into that. So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck hunting.